beach volleyball facility in what used to be the U of A's on-campus football practice field. Coming up with us in the 4 o'clock hour, we will talk with Mike Farron, the Arizona Diamondbacks pre- and post-game show host. The Diamondbacks making me look stupid, Stacy. Which is, I mean,
they've made a lot of people look.
Well, and a lot of things make me look stupid. I sat here and said to you a couple of days ago that the Diamondbacks can score more runs than anybody, and they'll just have to pitch a little tiny bit, and they'll be a contender in the National League West. And over the last 2 days, they've scored exactly 1 run, lost 2 straight to the Padres. The Diamondbacks return home tonight to take on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I figured that would make you happy.
Well, but we don't have to tell the folks that. Come on, Stacy. It's who I root for when I go home and turn the TV on is my business. Come on. Also, lots to talk about with Arizona Wildcats athletics. U of A baseball team lost its series opener to Utah last night at High Corbett Field. Pitching sort of came apart early on, and it was one of those games that makes you hate college baseball, Stacy. It's like 3 hours and 40 minutes. Pitching changes, walks. It's not the kind of clean, crisp baseball that the Wildcats usually play. They will turn to their ace, J.C. Cloney, tonight in what I believe is a must-win game. And yet, Stacy, it is not the most important sporting event in Tucson today. That belongs to, believe it or not, Arizona, Oregon softball, a showdown between 2 top 10 teams. That game gets started at 5. Our new friend, Danielle O'Toole, will step into the circle for the Wildcats, and they will face a Ducks team that held the U of A to 0 runs in 3 games when they met last year. A huge game with national implications tonight at Hillenbrand Stadium. NBA playoffs tonight. Yeah, I want to hear from you. What games are you watching? Who do you care about? We're going to talk a little bit later, Stacy, about hate watching. Once I came to terms with the fact that the NFL schedule was a thing yesterday, I actually took a look at the Los Angeles Chargers inaugural schedule. For those who do not know, they are dead to me. I have disowned them.
Then why did you look?
And I am looking for an NFL team because maybe I will hate watch them. Maybe just once this year. See what their new stadium looks like, root against them, and see. And I want to talk to Stacy. I want to hear from you guys. Is there any team that you hate watch? We will talk about Channing Frye being the hero of last night's Cleveland Cavaliers playoff game. Cavs erased a 25-point halftime deficit, beat the Pacers in Indianapolis. Channing Frye hit the dagger at the end of the game. LeBron James also did some things.
Oh, I was going to say, so you're saying Channing Frye's the hero there.
Channing Frye was the hero. LeBron James also good at basketball. Before we go to break here, Stacy, I want to talk a little bit about the news of the day. It just came up here just before we went on air. The Giants ace Madison Bumgarner has been placed on the disabled list after injuring his ribs and throwing shoulder on a dirt bike in Denver.
Wait.
And he was hospitalized. Yes. There are so many. There's a lot to unpack here. Go ahead.
So he wasn't pitching. He wasn't sliding into second.
No. He wasn't taking big hacks in batting practice. No.
He was on a dirt bike. In the Colorado mountains. Yeah, apparently. I mean, now there's a somewhat easy explanation. The Giants were playing the Rockies. Okay. I get that.
Best player who really, and there's one rule. Don't do anything stupid till after you retire. When you retire with a stack of money, and I don't care. Denver. And this brings up one of my favorite topics. Go ahead, Stacey.
Well, I get it. There's some beautiful country up there to go riding around in. Mm-hmm. Obviously the mountains, the thrill, the excitement of being on a dirt bike. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing that in season?
Yeah.
And with your team struggling so much.
And it's funny, too. We look at this and we go, first of all, this is all-time just dumb stuff, right?
Yes.
So naturally, it must be rare in the sport of baseball, right?
No.
It is not. This is the third. I was just doing a quick search before we went on air in terms of dumb injury suffered. This is since all the way back in March of this year.
Oh, going way back there.
Yeah. During the offseason, oh gosh, Royals reliever Brian Flynn fell through the roof of a barn, injuring himself.
Wait, through the roof?
Yeah. Well, he was working on the roof of a barn.
So he had to be on top of the roof.
Right. As everybody you know who makes $560,000 a year does, he was naturally standing on the top of a barn fixing it, fell through it, fell horseshoes, and drone on and on about wacky baseball injuries, if you'll let me. The time Clint Barmas injured himself carrying deer meat up the stairs of an apartment. The time Adam Eaton sliced his hand while opening a CD with an X-Acto knife.
Wow.
The time somebody hurt himself sneezing. The time Ricky Henderson got frostbite, even though he's never seen snow in his life.
I get there's going to be fluke accidents.
Right.
Some of them you can prevent from happening, though.
Yes.
This is one that you could prevent from happening.
Yeah.
Do pitchers have that much downtime that they have the ability to go do that?
I will speculate this. Somebody like Madison Bumgarner. Keep in mind, I mean, the best left-handed pitcher outside of Clayton Kershaw in all of baseball. If we're talking about the best pitchers in all of baseball, it's Kershaw, Bumgarner, 1-2. Okay. He has been told that he is great by everybody for years now. He is. He's an incredible baseball player. He's being paid very handsomely. He is an absolute hero to Giants fans. And Giants fans, believe it or not, Stacey, do you know this? Like best fans in baseball. They're great.
Yeah.
They're no good, like loyal, good. They're not Dodger fans, right? They are not Dodger fans. They are not White Sox fans. They're not Mets fans. I mean, they are good fans. Okay.
Have you met some Diamondbacks fans?
Here on your Diamondbacks Day, ESPN Tucson 1490. You're home for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It is possible that he just does what he wants, right? Mm-hmm. And that this burns him. That said, he's never been on the disabled list in his life before today. I can't imagine the last time he was hospitalized before yesterday. I mean, he's obviously been doing something right, but he makes that mistake. And a larger point that I'm going to make here, Stacey, is this. You know, we talk a lot about ownership versus players when it comes to labor deals, when it comes to just sort of lifestyle stuff. And we see it in the NFL with Colin Kaepernick and how nobody is signing him now as a backup quarterback. And you wonder if, you know, the NFL owners just kind of don't want to deal with it. We talk about the way owners treat players like children, right? I mean, like kids, like they're 8 years old. This is why. The reason they write these ridiculous things into their contracts is because of people like Madison Bumgarner, who, you know, his defense, I'm sure, will be, well, nobody told me I couldn't go dirt biking during the season. You are a professional athlete. There are certain things, professional athletes do all sorts of awesome things, I'm sure, day and night. Don't go dirt biking. Don't go big wave surfing. Don't go snowboarding. Don't go hang gliding. Don't go skydiving. It's fairly easy. This from Darren Ravel and Stacey. I never thought I would quote Darren Ravel on a radio show. Not my favorite person in the world. He is quoting the Cubs standard contract. May I?
Okay.
The Cubs forbid the following: auto racing, motorcycling, piloting, co-piloting, learning to operate or serving as a crew member of an aircraft, being a passenger in a single-engine airplane or private plane, hot air ballooning, parachuting, skydiving, hang gliding, bungee jumping, horseback riding, horse riding, because there's a difference between horseback riding and horse riding, apparently, horse racing, harness racing, fencing, boxing, wrestling, karate, judo, jiu-jitsu, any other form of martial arts activities, use of an all-terrain vehicle, water skiing, snowmobiling, bobsledding, luging, ice hockey, ice boating, field hockey, squash, spelunking, basketball, football, softball, while water canoeing or rafting, kayaking, jai-alai. You want to play for the Cubs? Can't play jai-alai. Got to give up your jai-alai career. Terrible.
Wow.
Lacrosse, soccer, tennis, rodeo, bicycle racing, motorboat racing, polo, rugby, rodeo, handball, volleyball, inline roller skating, other kinds of roller skating, surfing, hunting, paddleball, racquetball, archery, wood chopping, mountain climbing, can't climb mountains, boating, any weightlifting not prescribed by or approved in advance by the Cubs management, participation in super teams or superstars activity or other made-for-television or made-for-motion picture competitions, or, in case we haven't covered all of this, you also cannot participate in, quote, any other sport activity or negligent act involving a reasonably foreseeable substantial link of personal responsibility or death. Wonder what the lawyer who wrote that made. That is some high quality lawyering right there. Writing that, and that, by the way, that is one sentence. That is a sentence.
Wow.
This is why these clauses exist, because people like Madison Bumgarner thought it was okay to go dirt biking in Colorado in April with his team in the tank. And if we want to extrapolate this out a little bit, Stacey, and certainly I'm making light a little bit of this, but this is more serious. Jose Fernandez, the Marlins pitcher, is drunk with cocaine in his system, piloting a speedboat at 3 a.m. in the middle of the season. I'm sure that was not allowed, not that it necessarily matters. He was killed. But the reason people put in these clauses is because young, rich men, I think, feel the need for speed. And whether you are dirt biking or speedboating or any of the 7 trillion things I just listed, ranging from field hockey to harness racing, you want to do that apparently because you have time and money on your hands.
Well, and I'm glad you brought up the Miami situation. Just real quick with Bumgarner, I mean, he has a 5-year, $35 million contract guaranteed?
And that is the contract that he signed as a young guy. No, it's more than $535, I think. I mean,
I know there's like $1 million signing bonus and stuff.
Oh yeah,
the dude's making
this guy's
bank.
Set for life, and his children are set for life already. Yes,
he's going to miss a lot of time.
You would think.
Is he getting paid for all those starts he missed?
Well, it depends on what was in his contract, doesn't
Exactly.
it? And those contracts aren't necessarily public record. My guess is that the San Francisco Giants, given a choice between nickeling and diming their best player to prove a point and just supporting him and hoping he gets back, my guess is they will just bring him back. And they will just say, all right, there's your one. Madison Bumgarner, by the way, will make... this is the year 2017. He will make $11.5 million this year.
Yeah.
$12 million next year. $12 million the year after that. And after 2019, when he hits the open market as a free agent, he will make, assuming he's roughly the same pitcher he is now, $33-35 million a year. He will make more in 2020, is my guess, than he will make in 2017, 18, and 19 combined. I mean,
it's insane.
This is ridiculous money. This is good for pro athletes, and pro athletes make more money than all of us. I mean, this is the 1% of humans who ever get to. Probably could have, had he fallen the right way, he probably could have faked it with his right shoulder for a while. It would have affected his hitting. Sure, he's a pretty good hitter. But it's his glove hand. I mean, it's not nearly as concerning as there is something wrong with his pitching shoulder.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. All right, Stacey, let's take a break. When we come back, we will talk to Steve Walker. He's the head coach of the U of A beach volleyball team. Lots of Arizona Wildcats talk coming up later. We'll also be talking to Diamondbacks pre- and post-game host Mike Farron. This is ESPN Tucson, 1490, 104.9 FM. Days ago, Zach had a spa day. Yesterday, he had a mani-pedi. Stacy, you and Zach have been sort of following up here. What's on the schedule for him on Friday?
I believe it should have been wax day today, correct?
I believe today is all over waxing day for Zach Clark, which...
that's going to take all day.
That is a lot. I still have all these questions about beard maintenance. Keep in mind, he gets married tomorrow.
Yes.
One little mistake if you're trying to trim that beard and every photo is ruined. I mean, he must have a professional do it,
He
if
does.
only so he can blame it on somebody else.
Yes.
Am I right?
He always has a professional do it.
That's good. And now, Stacy is a bearded man. Stacy, how do you maintain?
Myself.
Okay, yourself.
I don't make the big bucks like Zach does.
That's right. When you're the talent, what do they call him? The talent. The
Is
talent.
that what he is?
The talent can afford a personal beard groomer, I suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, lots to talk about today. Arizona Wildcats baseball and softball is tonight. One sport that we've been talking about the last couple of days, just because it is so much fun to go see in person, is Arizona beach volleyball. And if you have not been down to Bear Down Beach, please take a trip down there. The Wildcats, in fact, playing Stanford there tonight at 6 o'clock. Steve Walker is, in addition to being an awesome dude, a pretty darn good coach. And we talked to Coach Walker just before we went on air today about each volleyball team will take on great playing as your number one team for the last couple of years, right?
That's very fair to say at the face of the program. I don't like putting my face out there too much, and so I have those two to rely on. I mean, Ryan, they really came at the right time. They really came to be available at the right time for me. When we added the program, and right when we added the program, McKenna and Madison, a lot of people don't know this, were signed, had the national letter of intent signed to go play indoor at in an institution in California. Well, that coach got let go. Suddenly they were on the open market. I had a new program, scholarships. Their brother was already going to school here, and I had a relationship with the club coach. And one thing led to another, and I was Johnny on the spot, and here they were in my office committed before we even had a facility. And so what those two have done for the program and how much they mean to me, you can't put a value on it. They've been just tremendous, and their personalities match their day-to-day behavior. They're great. They're everything a coach could dream of, and everything they've gotten, they've earned. They gave themselves to me and the staff as freshmen, and have not looked back since, and have had an awesome career.
I'm going to ask this question, and it comes from a good place, Coach. I promise, because you know this. I'm a twin.
Right.
And I have twins at home. My little guys are 3. How can you tell them apart? Because we can't. I mean, when we look to identify them for photos, it's a nightmare.
Right. It took me a whole year. I'll give you that. It took me freshman year. The freshman year, I had McKenna wear an anklet, just so I know which was which. But now, if I see a silhouette of either one of them walking down the street, I know exactly which one it is. And their personalities are far different. Yeah. Madison's a little more internal.
That I can't say to any other person. Are they hard on each other, or each other's best supporter, or both?
Remarkably, Ryan, they're not. Yeah. I couldn't imagine spending that much amount of time with someone else and not being. I'm sure I would get on their nerves. Right. It's remarkable the relationship they have on the court, in the sand, off the sand, wherever it may be. It's truly amazing, and they're very supportive. But they do demand. They do have high standards for one another, no question about that. But the relationship it's one that it's not something I would have expected. It's pretty amazing.
Coach, when did it go from sand volleyball to beach volleyball?
We're in our second season.
Okay.
Where the NC2A changed the moniker from sand to beach. We held on to the Arizona sand volleyball moniker, I think, to be played our region,
right.
But I think in time that change was going to have to happen. So we made the administration and we decided we'd make the change from sand to beach last year.
I think if you guys are going to play beach volleyball, you need some sort of a man-made body of water nearby. Maybe
I would be on board for that. I'll have to talk to the higher ups and see if we can't get some kind of wave tank out there. And we call it Bear Down Beach, and we have a great we have the premier beach volleyball facility on the West Coast, I feel like. But yeah, I'll put the request in, Ryan, and I'll put your name on it.
Steve Walker is the coach of Arizona's beach volleyball team. Wildcats taking on Stanford tonight, 6 p.m. at Bear Down Beach. Pac-12 championships coming next week. Coach, thank you so much for dropping in. Good luck tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, Ryan, and you guys take care.
Steve Walker, he is fantastic. Arizona Wildcats sand volleyball team, they're good. They're good, Stacy. It's nice to work in a little twin talk there, too. Always good. Madison and McKenna Witt.
Twins are so weird.
It is so weird. And, we went out and did a story on Madison and McKenna Witt at the Daily Star, a week ago? And we sent a photographer out there. And it came time to identify who was who.
Couldn't.
Well, you got to ask, like on every photo. It's incredible. And I'd like to think I'm sensitive to that stuff, but you talk about identical twins, look them up in the dictionary. Madison and McKenna Witt, pretty darn identical. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk Arizona Wildcats, baseball and softball. I will yell about Madison Bumgarner some more, and we will talk about why this is the worst month of the year in the NFL. This is ESPN Tucson, 1490, 104.9 FM.
Are you feeling old, low energy, low sex drive? Maybe you've tried supplements, pills, or even another men's clinic with no success. I'm Dr. Charles Arakaki of the Universal Men's Clinic, where we specialize in treating erectile dysfunction and low testosterone. With modern medicine and the latest technology, our patients experience a high level of success and a high level of care. Let us improve the quality of your life.
Call us at 520-514-2222. That's 520-514-2222. Or visit universalmensclinic.com. Guys, if you are a patient of another men's clinic and would like to experience the high level of care and effectiveness at Universal Men's Clinic, call us. We will bend to another clinic. To transfer your care or to become a new patient, call us at 520-514-2222. That's 520-514-2222. Or visit universalmensclinic.com.
ESPN Radio, 1490, 104.9 FM. Go, Stacy, put that back up a little bit. You can't talk beach volleyball like I did with Steve Walker in our last segment without thinking about Top Gun. Am I right?
Well, you can, but
But why would you? Why not relive a little Top Gun? All right, so they're playing sand volleyball, I think it's MCRD in down there at San Diego Marine Corps Recruit Depot. Iceman and Mav are high-fiving. Everybody's shirtless. They're inexplicably wearing jeans to play sand volleyball. Do you remember this, Stacy?
I do remember that.
Okay. Top Gun, you're giving me a look. Top Gun, not your cup of tea?
Not really. I'm not as big a fan of it as you, apparently.
Oh, there are parts about Top Gun that are so 80s and cheesy. He shows up at Kelly McGillis' house, and the first thing he wants to do is take a shower. I always thought that was very strange. My favorite thing that he does in Top Gun, and I'm giving away too much, Stacy, but you know what? It's Friday. I love it when they do You've Lost That Love and Feeling in a bar. In fact, early in my life, I may have pulled that on the woman who ended up being my wife, to the point that it was reenacted by a bunch of my friends at my wedding. And it was the whole thing. It was fantastic. But I mean, that is the cheesiest part of the cheesiest movie I've ever seen, and apparently it had such staying power it showed up at my wedding.
Don't feel bad, and I was
We are 2 for 2 in life partners?
but I wasn't the one doing it for the girl who ended up being my wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's all weird and strange. And
Wow.
Yeah.
So, wow. I like it. So you didn't crash and burn.
No.
And Maverick crashed and burned the first time. And the second, well, yeah, it's yes. But before we get too far into
Let me
Gun,
ask you this: who sings this, and what is the name of the song?
It's Kenny Loggins.
That is correct.
So Playing with the Boys.
That is correct.
2 for 2.
Well done.
Yes. Later, Stacey, if we just want to keep the Top Gun music coming as bumper music all day, that can be the show. ESPN Tucson, 1490, 1049 FM. This is Ryan Finley, sports editor of the Arizona Daily Star, in for Zach Clark. Stacey, this is a huge Friday for Arizona Wildcats baseball and softball. And I'd like to talk about softball a little bit. The Wildcats open up a key 3-game Pac-12 series at 5 o'clock, so in about 80 minutes with Oregon. Both teams ranked in the top 10 nationally. Arizona went up to Oregon last year and did not score a run. Oregon ended up, I believe, winning the regular season Pac-12 championship. But the big story in this Arizona-Oregon showdown this weekend is Katiana Mauga, who, with a couple of home runs, can become Arizona's career home runs leader, wrestling that away from Stacey Chambers, which is pretty incredible, Stace, when we look at it. I mean, Arizona could play like another 20 games, and it will just be, she'll be lapping the field at that point. The record career is 87. Mauga, I believe, is sitting on 86 right now, so she needs 1 to tie, 2 to break it. The way she has been hitting and the pace at which she's kept, this record will go down this weekend. And Oregon can pitch, yes, but Arizona's undefeated at home. Ball flies out of Hillenbrand Stadium, and Arizona has as good and as balanced a lineup as they've had probably in the last decade. What's so interesting about Katiana Mauga, I think, when we sort of weigh her against the most recognizable names in Arizona softball history, I'm not sure she immediately springs to mind. This is a girl who... she's a senior right now at the U of A. I don't think is the most comfortable in the spotlight. I don't think she particularly likes it, but she is somebody who is as consistent and as frankly punishing a softball player as maybe the Arizona Wildcats have ever had. This is a girl who has been consistent throughout her career, somebody who has hit in the middle of the Arizona order. She's playing third base this year, really good defensively, and somebody who I think when it's all said and done will go down as arguably the greatest Arizona Wildcats hitter of all time.
And that's saying something,
Yeah.
considering the lineage of
It's like
players
saying,
coming
it's like saying you're the greatest basketball player to ever play at North, right? I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And it's funny, we had a story on 90s win this series. It's a testament to how good the Pac-12 is, but they are 9-7 in Pac-12 play. 9-7. You are not. You have more. You have 7 conference losses, and you're ranked number 6 in the country. And that is a sign of how good the Pac-12 is. The fact that Arizona has played the bulk of its tough opponents already in its schedule, But you know what? If you lose 2 out of 3 to Utah at home, or even get swept by Utah at home, you are going to have, they're going to drop into the mid-teens, and it's going to be really hard justifying hosting a regional, which generally goes to the top 16 teams in the country.
But they would still be able, there's still enough time left, I believe, to be able to get back.
No question.
Work yourself back into, a top 10 ranking and being able to host. I just think for their morale, for their own mental fortitude, to be able to come back, especially from just how horrible you played last night, come back, being able to get a solid win to move forward.
Yes, absolutely. And at this time of year, it's not necessarily about getting into the tournament. Stacy, they're there. It's about finding the easiest path to Omaha. And, the statistics bear it out. Teams that host regionals have an infinitely better chance of advancing. Teams that host super regionals almost always advance to Omaha. Arizona sort of went about it. They sort of backdoored their way in there last year. But really, the tradition goes, if you're one of the nation's 8 or 10 best teams, you're going to host regionals and super regionals. You're going to have an advantage every game that you play in, and you're going to go to Omaha.
And that's a huge advantage playing at High Corbett.
Yeah, and playing it, and when you play at High Corbett, what's cool, there's 2 things about High Corbett. It is very different than what you're going to see at SC or UCLA. And the dimensions of High Corbett, believe it or not, Stacy, are identical to the dimensions at TD Ameritrade Park in Omaha. To the point where when the Arizona Wildcats went there in 2012, the year that they won the College World Series, they didn't have to change their approach. They weren't hitting home runs anyway, because they played at High Corbett Field. So the fact that the home run was really not an option at TD Ameritrade Park did not bother them. They were going up against these teams full of, for lack of a better term, big old country boys from Georgia and Georgia, Alabama, Florida. They're going up against these big Southern dudes who are used to mashing home runs at their little tiny ballparks in the Southeastern Conference. I think it's been good that they've kept High Corbett relatively the same dimensions ever since they moved in there. And I think that you can really tell how good a team is going to be, how good this Arizona team might be when you look at how they've done at home. And if they've been successful at home all year, going to Omaha, which is literally like the same dimension strikes, because another 4.5 hour long game is not good for baseball, and it is not good for anybody. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you, Stacy, why I hate the NFL and why this is the worst month to be an NFL fan. This is ESPN Tucson, 1490, 1049 FM.
Tucson 1490 and 1049 FM. Presented by Bud Light. Bud Light.
Ryan, this is how I feel about you.
Oh my. Stacey, we're moving awful quickly. We just really started to get to know each other on Wednesday. Wow. Let's talk about Kelly McGillis for a minute. What happened to her? Where'd she go?
Who knows?
Wasn't she in like an Amish movie immediately after Top Gun and then nothing since?
An Amish movie?
Yeah, I think she played like an Amish person.
Oh, was she in that Harrison Ford?
Possibly, yes. Yes, in
Okay.
fact. Sorry, I don't mean to get in the way of Take My Breath Away. Okay, now who did Take My Breath Away? That is,
Berlin.
of course. Very good.
Did you not know that?
No, I did.
It's like their one hit.
It's their one hit. This movie is such a perfect in ESPN Tucson 1490 1049 FM. This is Ryan Finley filling in for Zach Clark. My guess is Zach Clark does not like the fact that Stacey and I are talking about Top Gun here on a Friday. It's a perfect time capsule of a movie, which is what I love about it. Also, if not for a little twist of fate, Stacey, your boy Ryan Finley may have been in the movie. You know this.
What?
Yes.
Did not know
When
this.
Patrick Finley, who will be our guest at 5:20 of the Chicago Sun-Times, when Patrick calls in, maybe we'll rehash this. But when we were just little tiny kids, we were dragged to some sort of casting call and made it through, I think, a couple of levels where the winner would have played Goose's orphaned boy. So remember the scene, and you've seen this.
Yeah.
So Meg Ryan is married to Goose, right?
Uh-huh.
And Meg Ryan, I forget her name. They go play Great Balls of Fire at Kansas City barbecue. You know, Goose is drunk. The thing. And there's a kid there.
Yeah.
It would have been me. They wanted
Wow.
a very blonde, like 3-year-old kid. That was me.
Wow.
But alas, movie stardom was not to be. And I had to settle for being a newspaper guy who sort of fell, first into a guest hosting radio gig.
There you go.
Pretty excited about that.
Well, hey, Zach, if you haven't picked a song yet,
This is good.
this isn't a bad one.
That's not bad. I bet. Do you think Zach's picked a song?
Has he picked
you
it,
believe
or
that
did
Carrie has picked a
pick it?
song?
Yes, I believe Carrie has.
Carrie has picked the song. What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Is it something New York based? I mean, I know yesterday it was the schedule release event. That came a week after the preseason schedule release event. We have the NFL draft next week, which is just fantastic, and I love it. The NFL draft is a legitimate thing. I will never say a bad word about it. I watch all 3 days. I am a dork.
Tune in.
But
Our
there-
NFL draft special next Thursday.
Next Thursday, Michael Lev, Ryan Finley, Zach Clark, Stacey, all talking sports, and it is my favorite moment of the year when we talk about the picks sort of as they come in, and at some point somebody will be cut off because we have to go to the commissioner, and I get to say, real quick, let's go to the commissioner, like I'm the one who's telling the commissioner
Yes.
it's time to talk. But the NFL, and there's a great term for this. It's called Liars Month, right? April is Liars Month in the National Football League because you look around and nobody is telling you the truth. Those who are talking are lying. Let's start with Deshaun Kaiser of Notre Dame, shall we, Stacey?
Okay.
He's quarterback.
Yep.
Pretty good one. I mean,
all right.
not great, but pretty good. This week he said that he had Tom Brady's intellect and Cam Newton's body.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Tom Brady's intellect and Cam Newton's body. It escalated quickly. And he has Anu Solomon's winning percentage. This is a guy I cannot believe, and good for him, by the way. May we all have that kind of self-confidence to declare nationally that we are a combination of the two greatest quarterbacks in the NFL. We are the best parts of both of the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. But yeah, he's a combination of Tom Brady and Cam Newton.
I've watched him play quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm somewhat of a Notre Dame fan.
Oh, Stacey.
I would put him more along the lines of a Jamarcus Russell, perhaps.
Ooh. See, that's just mean.
Well, if he's comparing himself to Tom Brady, my gosh.
Okay, so just NFL. Okay. So he is a liar, right? No. I'm the best parts of Tom Brady and the best parts of Cam Newton all together. That's me, Deshaun Kaiser, who won 4 games a year ago at Notre Dame. It is Liars Month, Reggie McKenzie, the general manager of the Oakland Raiders, said that he met with Joe Mixon. You remember Joe Mixon?
Mm-hmm.
You may remember him from that video of him punching a defenseless girl and breaking her nose and knocking her out, and then denying that he did it until he was shown the tape, and then they went to court, and then it was a whole thing. Joe Mixon is, according to Reggie McKenzie, a pretty good guy. You aware of that? He's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Do I believe that Reggie McKenzie is a amoral jerk? I do not. I believe that Reggie McKenzie is lying because it is April, and that is what everybody in the NFL does. The Houston Texans say that they don't care about drafting a quarterback. Yeah, if there's one there, yeah, maybe later. But, there's no real pressure to draft a quarterback. My friend and yours, Tom Savage, when we come back, we're going to talk more about the NFL. We're going to talk about the Arizona Diamondbacks. So they open a big series with the Dodgers tonight at home. And Mike Farron, pre- and post-game show host for the Arizona Diamondbacks, will join us. This is ESPN Tucson, 1490, 104.9 FM.